Good afternoon, Robert Scribbler filming south and east from Jeanette's Pier for this Friday, December the 8th session of the OBX wave report. And before I get into it, I'm going to talk a little bit about the OBX wave report and the format and the options. So we are on Instagram, and I also daily do an OBX wave report brief, which is just a snapshot of conditions. I can't get too much into the analysis because it's only 1 minute long. And then we do our more in-depth, more detailed wave reports here on the YouTubes, and they have typically 3 to 4 segments. So the first segment will be like a brief overview of the wave conditions. The second segment will be a more detailed analysis of wave conditions up and down the Outer Banks to include some weather conditions. The third segment will be a forecast and an overall picture of the weather conditions that are affecting the waves. And the fourth segment will be talk about general climate as well as activism to save our coastline. So that's the breakdown of the OBX wave report generally. Sometimes we'll get into some different segments, or like some special reports, or possibly even some reviews on various surf products or whatnot. But that's the general overview of the wave report in both of its forms over on Instagram and here on the YouTubes. I did run into some of you guys out here earlier today, father and son surf crew. Had some really nice words to say about the OBX wave report. Just want to shout out to them and say thanks. Much appreciate the kind words, and makes all that we're doing here very much worthwhile. And that's what this is for. It's really for you guys, and hopefully it's just helpful for those of you who can't run down to the beach every day. I'm running down to the beach every day, either surfing or mind surfing or doing something, and least I could do is pass it on to you guys, what I find, and hopefully it'll be a help for you guys. All right, so let's get into the OBX wave report for today. Conditions pretty nice today, very clean, in the range of 2 to 3, 2 to 4 feet, depending on where you are. Here at Jeanette's Pier, the wave height's around 3.4 feet, and up and down the Outer Banks, very similar conditions at the good breaks. Mostly clean with a little bit of texture because we're getting some southwest winds here, but not too strong. We are at high tide right now at about 3, and up and down the beaches, most of the high tides are between 3 and 4. Seems like the waves have been breaking better here at Jeanette's in the mid-range, but nonetheless still some rideable waves to be had. We do have cool conditions with the ocean water temperatures in the mid to upper 50s, depending on where you are. Here at the pier, the monitor says 58. It's been bouncing around between like 55 and 58, depending on which way the wind blows. And it's been pretty cold. Water temperatures colder than normal for this time of year here close to shore, even though offshore water temperatures are warmer than normal, hoping that some of the winds blow that warmer than normal water in, so we get a respite from the cold. But nonetheless, make sure you got your cold water gear if you do come out here. You're going to need it. All right, so let's get down to the local monitors and the information from the monitors, buoys, and weather stations up and down the coastline. And right now here at Nag's Head, we've got 2 to 3 foot waves and clean conditions for this December the 8th. Swell coming in out of the east-northeast at around 2.8 foot in 8 seconds. West-southwest winds at 5 miles per hour. Gusting a little bit right now to maybe about 10. Air temperatures 51. Ocean water temperatures, depending on where you are, between 55 and 58. We have a high tide right now between 3 and 4 p.m. and looking forward to a low tide this evening between 9 and 10, depending on where you are on the coastline. Further south at Rodanthe, we've got 2 to 3 foot waves, clean conditions. Swell coming out of the east-northeast at 2.5 foot and 8 seconds. West-southwest winds at 8. Air temperatures 52 degrees. Ocean water temperatures a little bit warmer at 59. And then at Buxton, we got 2 to 3 foot plus, possibly a few 4-footers in there. And clean conditions, swell coming in out of the northeast at 2.9 foot and 8 seconds. We got winds there out of the west at 8 to 10 miles per hour. air temperatures 58 degrees, and ocean water temperatures 63. And last of all, at Frisco, we got 1 foot plus waves and some side shore conditions with those southwesterly winds. Okay, so looking at the weather picture, what's going on? We've got a warm front and a storm gathering to our south and west in the Gulf of Mexico region. And that storm is going to push to the north and bring some warmer conditions with some southwest winds starting to come in right now in the afternoon, and that's going to continue on through tomorrow. Now for tomorrow, we expect continued clean conditions with 2 to 3 foot plus waves on Saturday, and particularly Saturday morning looking really nice here, and warmer weather also on Saturday morning. As we push into the day on Saturday, we're going to get those winds picking up from the south and west, and then by the time Sunday rolls around, we are going to be building up toward a heavy gale by nightfall. This gale is going to be roaring in from the south with nighttime gusts as we get into the night on Sunday up to 60 miles an hour, and that's going to push some very large choppy waves during the nighttime, possibly 8 to 10, 12, maybe some 14 footers in there depending on where you are. And then on Monday, we're going to get the backside of that storm as cold front pushes through, and we're going to get some strong northwest winds and likely heavy surf, likely pretty choppy in most places, although down south in Buxton, it's going to be big, probably in the range of 4 to 6 foot-ish, maybe bigger, and possibly clean, possibly some big barrels down there in Buxton on Monday. With the backside of that storm coming in. And it's also going to be cold, so the wind's going to be coming out of the northwest 20 to 30 miles an hour, and temperature's going to be in the 40s. It's going to feel cold with those strong northwest winds, so if you do get out there, make sure you got your warm weather gear. And then as for Tuesday, conditions look like they're going to clean up as they calm. All right, so thank you for joining me for this Friday session of the OBX Wave Report. It is a Fridays for Future, so I do want to give a shout out to all the good activists that are working to protect our coastlines from environmental impacts, particularly from the impacts of climate change. But recently in the news, I've been talking about it lately, the situation with the coral reef there in Tipu. We want to make sure that that beautiful reef is there for everybody to enjoy for years and years to come. So let's make sure that any kind of event that we have does not damage the reef. A lot of people chiming in to protect the reef over there at Tipu, and I just also want to make a shout out and say that we've also really got to get working on mass deploying that clean energy to protect our coastlines and our reefs from climate crisis. Climate crisis hits the reef with heat. That can kill the reef because it shocks the sea creatures there, and it also hits the reefs with ocean acidification. All that carbon spewed up in the air ends up transferring in solution into the oceans and makes the oceans more acidic, and that hurts those coral reefs as well. So if we want to save our coral reefs all around the world, for us to enjoy and for our future generation folks to enjoy as well, we've really just got to, you know, do the good work, and we totally can do it. It's not impossible. Those of you who are surfers know it's about constant improvement, and that's really what we want to be doing with our you know, movement away from fossil fuels to get that sustainability, constant improvement towards sustainability. Yesterday I did give a shout out to Terry Hughes, who is a major coral reef expert, and we're going to give a shout out to him as well for this Fridays for Future session of the OBX Wave Report. Please Google Terry Hughes, eminent scientist on the issue of coral reefs, has a number of wonderful things to say about preserving our reefs. He's eminent expert on the Great Barrier Reef particularly, but is expert on global reefs as well. All right, so thank you for joining me for this session of the OBX Wave Report. Hope you guys do get out there and enjoy some good waves. today and tomorrow. And if you do get out there on Sunday and Monday, please be careful and make sure you got your cold weather gear.